Armistice Day brings its problems. Peg and I would like to go to church. We used to go, but found almost without exception a lack of perception and sensitivity amongst the clergy. We suffered one Armistice Day sermon devoted to the curate's theory that, war being a crime against humanity, all chivalry must therefore be hypocritical. I wondered whether the German stretcher bearers and their wounded at Sinderen would have agreed. I took offense. Peg and I have a lot to mourn. She, Jack Weatherly, and I, 18 platoons dead. Perhaps it is expecting too much of anyone to understand intense grief, particularly that of a now aging platoon commander who had to lead some of his men to their deaths. We now spend Armistice Day quietly at home with our ghosts. Memories abound. During the night, I made a habit of wandering around the platoon position so that each of my soldiers could talk to me. I learned a lot. They talked about their families and their future hopes. I hardly had to contribute to those whispered conversations that sometimes took place in the dead of night or in the cold gray light just before dawn. I think it may have helped my soldiers to have a confidant. Invaluable experience of human nature, I now treasure the memory. Weapons also left memories. The monotonous, repetitive bursts of the Bren, the hysterical shriek of the MG-42's furious rate of fire, and the lethal chatter of the Stens and Schmeisers all contributed to the cacophony of battle. Tracer bullets seared themselves into memory. Fired from a distance, their parabola approached almost lazily until suddenly, like a swarm of fiery demons, they accelerated directly past one's head with ear-splitting cracks. I shall never forget the brain-splitting shockwave as mortar bombs detonated, nor the rending of the atmosphere when a stick of Nebelwerfer bombs straddled one's slit trench. My memory is stocked with smells. The metallic stench of dead cattle in Normandy, the pungent odor of German prisoners, and the vile, penetrating chemical smell from a newly plowed shell crater. Strange, fleeting memories, too. Why, in circumstance of great danger, did the palms of my hands moisten, making it difficult to grip the butt of my pistol? Why, on pitch-black nights full of menace, was it possible to discern enemy movement by fixing my straining eyes slightly to its side? It sounds foolish, but I swear that it works. After 40 years, I am sure I could still prime a .36 grenade in total darkness or load the magazines of a Colt automatic pistol. I remember our dead. Their souls departing, they lay awkwardly like bundles of discarded clothing. At Bedburg, Lance Corporal Porteous lay by the railway crossing. In an instant, he had gone, leaving his body, clothing, and equipment empty. At Halvenboom, Private Jones died with a tiny cry, lost in the chill winter air as the bullet took him from us. Memories are not all sad. Rarely since has my adrenaline flowed as an advance to combat. With all the senses alert, one lived for a few hours, sometimes for day, at a concert pitch. Like a drug, it captivated me. I wanted more. Totally absorbed, one pressed on until objectives had been seized. Then I flopped as I had never done since. I remember the mood of pulsating expectancy during the last few hours before battle. Old trusted friends like Dennis Clark and Bramley Hancock would arrive to tie up their artillery support. Others, troop commanders from the Sherwood Rangers, would appear almost in party mood to marry up with us. The very air was vibrant with excitement and good fellowship. No acrimony, simply an exercise in willing cooperation to help us, the infantry, overcome the day's grim task. But my most treasured memory is the simple and sincere affection which existed between us all. Based on mutual trust, it was the cornerstone of the platoon's success, and it survives unchanged to this day. This is tinged with regret because Jim Kingston, Owen Cheeseman, and particularly Doug Proctor did not receive any recognition they so richly deserved. Jim and Owen were mentioned in dispatches, but Doug was left unrewarded. Over the years, this omission has troubled me particularly because had I not been so young and inexperienced, more notice might have been taken of my representations. I have no doubt that they all earned a military medal on more than one occasion, and I, their platoon commander, failed them in this respect. I miss my soldiers. The warmth of their presence comforted me, and their humor restored my spirits. In the brutal world of infantry warfare, although few of them realized it, and certainly none would admit it, their behavior was noble. Their absence left a void which, but for an exceptionally happy marriage, would have certainly drawn me back into the Army for the comfort that only a soldier can understand. Strangely, I have never since considered myself anything but a soldier.